With F1 seemingly introducing new street races every season, what with Miami for 2022, Jeddah in 2021, the mysteriously disappearing Vietnam in 2020 and so on, it seems like the calendar will consist of more and more of these types of circuit. In terms of space efficiency and circuit costs, it makes sense. It also makes it easier for crowds to get to if it's in their own backyards, not in a village in the middle of the English countryside with its closest connection being Milton Keynes. Ugh. But there is an issue with these street circuits. You see, streets are already made, with houses and restaurants and giant hotels that cost several grand a night next to them, meaning a few things. Firstly, they don't really present nice corners all the time. Baku's whole first sector is just right angles. Monaco's hairpin requires you to go 2 miles per hour around it. Vietnam was supposed to have these bits. It's just how the streets were made many years ago. Secondly, a street is meant to be a little bit more than the width of 2 Renault Meganes, which would be fine if you were racing Renault Meganes, but when you chuck cars the width of Chris Hemsworth's left bicep down there, overtaking will be hard. Multiple lane roads obviously solve that, but if every road in a city was that wide, well then we wouldn't have as many traffic issues, would we? Or buildings. The street circuit problem has been an issue for years. Many solutions were tried. Race in America? No. Race on a circuit that is just 2 straights? It's not exciting enough. Race in America? Definitely not. Race over a bridge? No thank you. Race in a car park? Okay, I'm listening. In America. Some solutions work alright. In a park? Don't have to worry about buildings really. On an island in a river? Well, the neighbours won't complain too much. But there was a very interesting solution thought up a long time ago, back in 2009. South Korea is a country known for a lot of things. Its technology industry, its music, making a TV show about people dying playing children's games, and dominating just about every esports championship under the sun. One thing it's not known for though is F1. The closest they have ever got to having a driver in the sport is with Jack Aitken, whose mother is Korean, and he only raced 1 race. Other than that though, there has been just about zero presence of South Korea in F1 ever. So hear me out, we have an ingenious idea, a fix for street racing in general. What if we build the circuit and then build the city around it? This was the proposal for the Korea International Circuit in 2009. It was a huge proposal, but also one with many flaws. Now, as I said earlier, Korea's F1 fanbase isn't the largest, and so this proposal to build a whole city and then pay for it with the F1 revenue from that country wasn't the smartest. This is South Korea, yes, a rich country with a GDP comparable to Canada, but this sort of project is much more expected as a vanity project for an oil state. And when it came to cost estimates, well, they knew building an F1 track wouldn't be cheap. They just didn't realise how not cheap it would be. For the track itself, initial funding was raised for around 52.8 million won, a measly £33,000. The track itself though, when finished, sort of, in 2010, would weigh in at 88 billion won, or £52 million. So there was a massive amount of money they would need to recuperate before even attempting to start the surrounding city. All this in a recession. Now another issue with the circuit is the location, located in the Yeongnam region of Korea. Now for 99% who watch this video and don't know Korean geography, it's like basing an F1 circuit in Cumbria, or for the Americans, Wyoming. There really isn't a lot there. Korea's economic hubs are generally based in 3 areas of the country. The capital Seoul and the nearby port city of Incheon are both based in the northwest, along with their surrounding urban centres like Suwon or Goyang near the border. Daejeon is South Korea's tech hub based toward the centre of the country alongside the new upcoming future city of Sejong. The large industrial hubs of Busan, Ulsan and Daegu are all in the southeast, but in the southwest, well, there's Gwangju, which is around 40 miles away, and really nothing else. It wouldn't be surprising to hear then that attendance wasn't necessarily the greatest. The circuit, when complete, had a capacity for 135,000 spectators. For the first race, the first ever in Korea in 2010, the attendance on race day was 80,000. Okay, it's not the worst. For 2011 it kept it up, with again 84,000. This also doesn't seem too bad, but there were reports of both of these years that there were free tickets given away to Korean students to make the stands look full, as well as the fact that for 2011 they literally had to halve the price of the tickets for people to buy them. By the final race in 2013, the attendance had dropped to 60,000. More than half the seats were empty. So, about that city you wanted to build around the track. Well, with original plans in 2009 expecting the initial city infrastructure and initial buildings to be complete by 2021, we can have a look at it now on Google Maps. See, there's the track. I'm not seeing much of a metropolis. Yeah, there's nothing. With the cost and subsequent failure of the Korea International Circuit, there was no way that the Korean government was going to fund a city to go in the midst of it. And even though I have ragged on it a lot, to be honest, that's a pretty sad thing. The circuit itself is a very well designed beast. Yes, it was a Tilke circuit, like just about every new circuit in the 2010s, but it had elevation changes, it had some tricky sections that flowed really well, and overall it just felt like a bit of a classic. In terms of a street circuit, it would have in the end been considered one of the best. South Korea as well seems like such an untapped market for F1. There is a love of cars there, although it had been heavily restricted until really recently with an almost blanket ban on any car tuning. Now though, since the ban has been lifted, there is an underground street racing scene, not dissimilar to Japan. And the multinational brands of Hyundai and Kia are growing larger than ever. If the Korean GP was better planned, not quite as monetarily ambitious, better located and better timed, then perhaps we could have seen the growth of a new passionate fan base in the sport. And if this crazy city around a circuit idea was attempted somewhere else, somewhere more committed to F1 at the time, then perhaps we could have solved an issue for circuits of the future. Even with this setback though, I do believe one thing. It won't be long until F1 truly breaks into South Korea. And not long after that, well, South Korea may have its moment in the sun on the biggest motorsport stage of them all. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Just whatever you want really. Comment whatever. Follow me on Stokesy_YT on Twitter and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.